Good evening, everyone. Severe Weather Team 9 meteorologist Nathan John joining you for this edition of Nate at 8. And we're going to be tracking some more showers and thunderstorms ahead over the next couple of days, some more hot and humid conditions before the dry weather returns, in addition to that lowering in the humidity and temperatures going into the weekend. Thanks so much for joining me for this edition of Nate at 8. Again, coming up, more fog overnight into tomorrow morning, then more showers and thunderstorms the next couple of days before that dry stretch and cooler, less humid stretch of weather arrives going into the weekend and likely carries over into early next week. So that's what we're going to be discussing for this edition of Nate at 8. Let's jump into things, shall we? And we're tracking not too much precipitation across the area. It's been more of that hit or miss variety of showers and thunderstorms that have been in place going throughout today, even arriving late morning and then continuing going through the afternoon and evening. Now here early and going into the early part of tonight, there's not too much that's going to continue. And what does linger still has a window of time of a couple hours, and then we're likely drying up completely across the area. So we'll notice this likely quickly taper off from what does remain into the region. Early on tonight, we're going to be dry overnight and then watch for some areas of fog likely developing again for tomorrow morning, some of which can still be dense. Radar estimated rainfall the last 6 hours. This is just a good illustration of the more hit or miss variety of showers and thunderstorms that have been in place. You can see a lot of locations where radar is estimated next to nothing in terms of rainfall for today. And of course, if you're tuning in into a good portion there, Jefferson County, Brooke County, thinking, well, it did rain today several times, right? But in the larger picture, most locations, still little to no precipitation. So certainly Jefferson County, one of the more hit side of that equation of hit or miss today. But as you can see, a lot of eastern Ohio, the northern panhandle, not getting too much precipitation throughout the day. And that'll carry over here as we extend throughout the evening. A little more concentration of those showers and thunderstorms east of us, especially south of Pittsburgh, towards Washington, near Johnstown, south of Johnstown, towards Morgantown. You can see where radar estimated. And that activity is a little more concentrated just towards our east and to our southeast there across the region. Looking further out of our area with radar estimated rainfall over the last 6 hours. So the activity hit or miss, and we'll likely see that continue again for tomorrow, but still good potential to deal with more of those showers and thunderstorms. Again, overnight tonight, this is what we'll be dealing with. Some patchy fog. So that's what we'll watch for again tomorrow morning. Again, some of it can be dense. Fog will lift to give way to really similar conditions from what we had today as well as yesterday. I mean, very similar. Temperatures topping off well in the 80s, unbearably humid, mix of sun and clouds, more of that hit or miss variety of showers and thunderstorms developing into the afternoon and evening. So there's a lot of similarities from what we had for today, yesterday, going into Wednesday as well. Temperatures warm, muggy in the morning, hot and humid in the afternoon. And while Futurecast, I think, is underdoing the amount of precipitation we'll see, again, just generally more hit or miss showers and thunderstorms, likely popping back up into the afternoon hours tomorrow, continuing then going through the evening, similar to today as well as yesterday. Austin, good evening. Today was another hot, miserable day, and good evening there, Austin. And yes, certainly was hot and humid, that's for sure. Just the air was enough to make me want to stay inside. I don't blame you there, Austin, one bit. Says, I'm praying that we don't get any more thunderstorms like Sundays. It was scary, and hopefully nothing too severe coming our way here, Austin, over the next couple of days. But unfortunately, we do run that potential for a strong to severe thunderstorm. We'll get into that potential for impacts a little bit deeper here in just a minute. Ian, good evening. Currently 83 degrees with my Tempest weather station, reporting the feel like of 89. And yeah, warm and very humid, huh? Certainly. Still at this hour. Got a high temp of 91.3 and a feel like of 107. Miserable to be outside today, even for a second. And yeah, I agree with you, Austin, as well, and Ian, that not pleasant, right? Unfortunately, just that these days so far for this week, it's just been that type of weather where, even though it's been mainly, mostly dry, right, for a lot of these days, that still just not good conditions to be outside in. It's definitely not comfortable trying to get outside and enjoy the outdoors. But the good news is that more comfortable air is in sight. So if you've been wanting to get out and enjoy the outdoors and not be sweating as soon as you step outside, there's good news, because that type of weather is on its way. But unfortunately, not for tomorrow. Again, tomorrow features a lot of the same as today and yesterday. Now, where things can start to vary worry is for tomorrow night, as I do think there's potential for at least something isolated that can be possible overnight into Thursday morning. So we can maintain a shower thunderstorm potential overnight into Thursday morning. Still warm and muggy, low still falling to around 70, maybe sneaking just in the 60s, but still warm and muggy into Thursday morning. Still, dealing with some cloud cover continuing, but the biggest difference, again, that possibility of an isolated shower thunderstorm continuing Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Now, the changes continue into the day on Thursday, because this time around Thursday in the afternoon, we start to see more widespread coverage likely of showers and thunderstorms. Our greatest rain threat that we have likely for this week is arriving on Thursday into the afternoon. That will carry over in the evening. This will be our greatest coverage likely of showers and thunderstorms. So still on the more hit or miss variety likely for tomorrow afternoon and evening, but this is when we can get greater coverage. It can be a bit more widespread showers and thunderstorms, again, developing likely Thursday afternoon, continuing into the evening. Then the coverage will fall off early Thursday night. Something isolated, it can't be ruled out. That can linger overnight Thursday. Something, again, more isolated. It's possible. But, at this point, we're drying up likely overall overnight into Friday. So anything that does linger by Friday morning likely does taper off altogether. And then we are greeted with a gorgeous Friday and a gorgeous weekend. Those high temperatures cooler, the humidity lower, the rain threat gone, the cloud cover, a lot of it even gone. Just going to be a gorgeous stretch of weather Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yes, we can wake up to still some cloud cover Friday morning, but you'll notice going throughout the day Friday that abundant sunshine will be breaking out, and then we don't look back through the weekend. Just a lot of sunshine ahead Saturday and Sunday. Again, I can't say it enough, just a gorgeous stretch of weather. I feel like a broken record, but it is. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. So if you have not made some outdoor plans, I think it's a good stretch to do so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We get to go outside and not just instantly say ugh. That's a way to put it. We don't instantly say ugh as soon as we step outside Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's much more comfortable air in place. So again, rain outlook the next couple of days. We deal with more showers and thunderstorms. Again, it's more of that hit or miss variety Wednesday afternoon, evening. By Thursday, it's more hit of those showers and thunderstorms. The emphasis Thursday in the afternoon and evening. We dry up then overnight Thursday. So by Friday morning, dry conditions are likely across the area. That continues Saturday as well as Sunday. In terms of the impacts to watch for, so the flood threat, it does look to be more localized or isolated. We do run that potential, though, for tomorrow as well as Thursday. So the next 2 days with the showers and thunderstorms continuing, still some humid conditions in place. So we're still dealing with some heavy to torrential downpours within showers and thunderstorms. So we still have to watch if we're getting some rounds of heavy rain over the same location. Then we run the risk to see flash flooding. Again, it likely stays more localized or isolated, but that potential is there the next 2 days. When it comes to that potential for a severe thunderstorm, it does look like our higher risk is going to be tomorrow with respect to Thursday. So for tomorrow, again, anything that does happen to develop, we run that potential for a strong to severe thunderstorm. Damaging winds would be the primary concern, in addition to localized flooding. By Thursday, that risk for a severe thunderstorm starts to drop. The bigger concern Thursday is likely more of a localized or isolated flooding, more so than dealing with a severe thunderstorm. We can deal with more cloud cover Thursday morning. We can even deal with at least a couple showers around Thursday morning as well. That combination can lower the amount of instability that we build into Thursday afternoon. And you'll see in a minute as well, those temperatures, they're going to start to drop off Thursday. So it's not as hot Thursday, overall, not as much fuel likely for those thunderstorms Thursday to become severe, but still a lot of moisture present in the atmosphere is still going to be pretty muggy. So we're still getting some pretty heavy downpours even into Thursday as well. So flooding risk both days. The severe risk more so tomorrow. So those are the impacts to watch for. And of course, the afternoon and evening is really the time to watch for that potential for impacts over the next couple of days, as we still are in the unbearably humid range for tomorrow. And we start to drop, we can drop a little bit Thursday, but it's still uncomfortable to unbearably humid. There's not much relief Thursday, although dew points can fall back in the 60s. We're still likely well in the 60s. Now, by this time on Thursday is when the dew points will likely start to drop. So we can still notice a bit of that humidity around the end of the day Thursday, but it's starting to drop. And as we get into Friday, that's when we'll start to turn to more pleasant humidity levels. And then by the weekend, just remaining likely pleasant throughout the weekend. Dew points are in the 50s likely for most, if not all of that stretch going into Friday, Saturday, as well as Sunday. So getting back to much more comfortable air in place Friday, Saturday, as well as into Sunday. Hot and humid again tomorrow, but notice not hot Thursday. So still humid Thursday, but not hot. So we'll notice those high temperatures start to drop off Thursday. So one more hot and humid day and more warm and humid Thursday. So one more day tomorrow where that heat index value in terms of how hot it feels. In terms of how hot it feels when you factor in the heat and humidity tomorrow can reach back closer to 100 degrees again for tomorrow. And we may see a heat advisory issued again for tomorrow afternoon and evening. Not one in effect right now, but I do think it's a possibility. We can see values reach similar to what we had for today. So just anticipate another hot, humid day tomorrow. Again, a lot of similarities to tomorrow from yesterday as well as today. Hot, humid, hit or miss showers and thunderstorms popping up in the afternoon and evening. Then by Thursday, again, the comparisons fall off, right? Not as hot, but still rather muggy. Those highs likely struggling to really get into the 80s Thursday. Quite a bit of cloud cover throughout the day and greater coverage of the showers and thunderstorms, more widespread likely in the afternoon and evening. It's cooler, but again, still rather muggy. Now by Friday, it's not only a little bit cooler, not by much, but that's when we'll notice the drop in humidity. So those are much more comfortable 70s for a high Friday and Saturday. Again, can't say it enough. Gorgeous weather. Gorgeous weather. I mean, we're getting back to much more comfortable conditions. It honestly, as hot and humid as it's been here as of recent, we've dealt with this for we're going on a week-long stretch here of just hot and humid conditions. As hot and humid as it's been this past week, and really for a lot of this over what is now over past month, right? You go back to about the 21st of June. Now it's July 29th. So even over a month stretch, the most of what we've seen has been hot and humid, right? So coming off of that, to see highs remain in the 70s, maybe we can even hold mid 70s Friday. The comfortable humidity levels, highs mid 70s, it might almost feel a little cool to us. Sounds crazy, but I think it might almost feel cool to us on Friday. So we'll wait and see. You have to let me know for that Friday edition of Nate at 8 what you guys think, because I think that it could almost feel cool to us on Friday. We'll see if that comes to fruition. It's always a matter of what we've been accustomed to, right? Anytime we're dealing with that first taste of humidity for the year, it feels pretty just real muggy, even though dew points are just starting to reach in the 60s. When we're not accustomed to it, it almost feels worse than what it is. Meanwhile, now if we see these dew points in the low 60s, it's starting to feel more comfortable to us, right? It really is. It's a matter of what we're accustomed to. And of course, you always see this with, any individuals that are living in the deep South and Florida, accustomed to dealing with hot, humid air coming up into, here, Ohio, West Virginia, PA, and it's getting down in the 60s and they're throwing the jackets on, right? It really is a matter of what we're accustomed to. So that being said, I think Friday could almost feel cool to us. And again, Saturday, Sunday, just some great conditions continuing as we go through the weekend. But again, for tomorrow, the heat index still likely getting back close to 100. May see a heat advisory issued as we go into tomorrow afternoon and evening. Again, that potential I think is there to get close to 100 degrees for heat index into Wednesday afternoon. By Thursday, still can feel a little warmer than the actual air temperature, but as those highs start to cool closer to 80 and especially in the 70s, the heat index is not as much of a factor. So as temperatures start to cool, even though it can be quite muggy, the heat index is less of a factor when temperatures start to drop. Because again, keep in mind, it's a factor of temperature as well as humidity. Well, the humidity is still pretty muggy Thursday, but it's a noticeable cool down, almost by 10 degrees. into Thursday afternoon. So it could feel a little warmer than the actual air temperature, but we'll notice it. It will feel cooler to us Thursday. Again, not really comfortable Thursday, but we'll notice it. It'll feel cooler to us, and we'll have again more widespread coverage of those showers and thunderstorms, primarily in the afternoon and evening. We can have some in the morning, but it's primarily Thursday afternoon and evening. By Friday, we're drying up, decrease in cloud cover, abundant sunshine breaking out into Friday afternoon, and again, could even feel a little cool to us on Friday. Much more comfortable air in place Friday. Highs back in the 70s, remaining in the 70s likely Saturday with barely a cloud in sight. Just a few clouds in the mix Sunday, back closer to 80. But again, still more pleasant humidity levels in place through the weekend. And for next week, yes, we'll likely, not a drastic jump up, but we'll likely notice temperatures start to creep up through the first half of next week. We'll get back to some very warm values likely late next week. And the humidity will likely start to creep up as well. A little uncertainty in terms of rain chances next week. I do think that at least something more isolated is possible for the latter part of next week. We'll see. We could very well have to up rain chances later next week as we gain more confidence here over the next week, into that we're going 10 days, but here within the next week, as we get into early next week, we may have to start to up some rain chances later into the week. But it's certainly the uncertainty certainly is there. That's uncertainty is certainly there. Wow, what a statement. There's some uncertainty there. Yes. So, just get a better agreement in those models. We might have to up rain chances later next week. But certainly, eyes are more so on what's arriving going through the weekend than what's for next week. But just to give you a heads up, no, there's no rain icons on there right now, but we may have to add some for at least the latter part of next week. I do think dry conditions hold early next week, but just be prepared. I know you may be trying to plan something late next week and, looking at the icons there, showing some dry conditions. But as it stands now, even though they can't show it, I threw in at least a chance for something isolated for that latter part of next week. And again, as we gain more confidence, we may have to up those rain chances next week. Austin asking, has July ever reached 60 to 69 degrees as the high temperature? And I would say, I bet we have had a July where those highs have held into the 60s. I'm sure we've had a pretty cool July day. That would certainly be probably on some of the coolest July days on record, but I bet we have. I bet we have had that before. It would be interesting to look up. And boy, that would feel really good, wouldn't it? That would feel really good. You get that high temperature close to the normal low, and typically in a climatological, and when it comes to climate, and when we deal with that high temperature closer to the normal low, that's oftentimes some of the coolest, if not the coolest, high temperature on record. So that would be the opposite record that we would be looking at the record high, but the record coldest high. And anytime you get near that normal low, that can oftentimes it can be where you see some of the record coolest high temperatures exist is closer to where the normal low is for the time of the year. So yes, can very well. I'm sure it's happened at least once before on record, and I'm sure when you're getting close to that normal low, we're talking some records at that point. But I'm sure it has. Nowhere in that vicinity here near term, but certainly nice to get back to the 70s for a couple days there. And again, we may hold 70 Sunday. It'll be close. We'll be near 80. Maybe get 3 days in a row. It's possible. Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday. We notice that more cool, comfortable morning return as early as Friday morning, and then a series there of some 50s overnight lows into the 50s coming our way this weekend. Great to get out and enjoy the outdoors, and really hasn't been real pleasant to be out here as of recent. If you enjoy the outdoors, camping, this is great weather to camp Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You get those cool, comfortable nights. I love camping, but I tell you, these warm, muggy nights, it makes it tough camping. And I camp pitching a tent. I don't have pop-up camper or anything, and with AC or heat, get out the tent the old-fashioned way, and these would be great. These would be great lows for that. It's hard sleeping in that tent when it's warm and muggy at night. I've done it before, but it is hard. It's I don't know about you guys. It's hard, but certainly this weekend, a great weekend. If you enjoy campfires, boy, it was a great. These are some great evenings for a campfire. And some great days to be camping in general, where it's not just unbearably humid and hot coming our way this weekend. So again, good weekend to make some outdoor plans, that's for sure, because I don't think it's what we're seeing this weekend repeats into next week. And at that point, we're starting to see those temperatures, humidity likely start to creep back up at that point. So certainly a good time to take advantage of this gorgeous weather coming our way as we go through the weekend. Joe, good evening. Appreciate what you do. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Nate at 8. I appreciate everyone joining me for this edition of Nate at 8, as always. And you can catch me coming up News 9 at 10 on Fox 9, News 9 tonight at 11 for the latest. And join right back here for that next edition of Nate at 8. We're going to be tracking likely some more of those hit or miss varieties of showers and thunderstorms. I'll bring you the latest on what to expect for Thursday. Certainly want to stay tuned into Thursday as well, as we'll likely be tracking some showers and thunderstorms. Although at this point, Thursday for the next that edition of Nate at 8, probably starting to see a lot of that activity begin to taper off. And then we get to join on Friday. We all get to join and celebrate on the Friday edition of Nate at 8 as we get to celebrate the drop in the temperatures and humidity, rain chances. We'll get to discuss if it actually felt cool to us on Friday. I think it may. It may. Sounds crazy, but it may actually feel a little cool to us on Friday. We'll see. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful night. I'll see all of you on the next edition of Nate at 8.